That famous line from The Wolf of Wall Street, "I'm not effing leaving." That just seems to be the stance with everything that is wrong at Manchester United. The people you want out, the issues you want gone, just seem to linger and just stay and fester at Manchester United, don't they? This is Forever United TV. This is your morning update, 20th of February, everybody. 2 days ahead of a crunch game at Goodison Park. Again, another crunch one, I know, but we're talking off-the-field stuff with Manchester United already. Champions League last night, brilliant football being played all over the place. Only yesteryear was Manchester United in them competitions and competing at the top. Will we ever get there again? I think that's the question that we've got to be asking right now with this ownership that we've got. The Glazers confronted by reporters, Avram Glazer that is, about his future at Manchester United. The question asked, has Sir Jim Ratcliffe made it worse for you at Manchester United? Them questions asked to him. And also, will you sell Manchester United? Is there a chance of a wholesale of Manchester United? We're going to get into all of that. We're going to talk about what this means for United, where we have to go. We've got transfer updates and possibilities and what is happening because of the ownership model. Updates on Kobbie Mainoo, updates on Manchester United's recruitment team, and of course all of your thoughts on everything going on around Manchester United and topics on the show as well. Get your thoughts in the live comments, and then please do, if you are catching up later, get your comments in the comments when the video has finished its live, and we'll sift through them. It's been very opinionated around Manchester United this week, myself included. We are a Manchester United fan base which has got huge concerns going forward right now. It does look like we have just been dealt the worst hand ever when it comes to football owners at the highest level. And I know there are really poor owners down the pyramid in football. We've seen some clubs even go out of business, and we're obviously nowhere near that. But Manchester United and the size of this football club and what's happened to it, we must have the worst ownership model in Europe when it comes to the size of the club and the magnitude of the actual business that Manchester United is. It has to be the worst setup possible, and one that is only going to benefit certain people, and we all know who they are. I'm not going to mention the names, we're going to talk about them in a moment, but I think Manchester United fans now are we're in that moment where I think the anger is boiling up over on everything. I think we just feel the complete a lack of vision from the football club. There doesn't seem to be a future right now at Manchester United when it comes to off-the-field decisions and what's going on. We're going to look into everything that's going on around the club and why the Glazer family are just clinging on to Manchester United, why they're sticking around. The interview, it wasn't so much an interview. In Avram Glazer's words, he was collared by a reporter as he was heading over to see the President of the United States. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so quizzed by Sky News in terms of the situation at Manchester United and what is going on. You've probably seen the clip flying around social media this morning. Questions like, has Sir Jim Ratcliffe, have Ineos come in, made it worse for you, the Glazers at Manchester United? Are they not helping the situation? Are you going to sell Manchester United? And the answer with a smirk on his face and I don't know how he actually said it, but it was quite clear that there is zero intention. His words were, no, we're not. No, they weren't. His words were no. Simple. That's all he said. Quite clear that he has got no intention, and the Glazer family have got no intention of selling Manchester United. I think every sensible Manchester United fan looking at it already realised that. The Glazers letting Ineos come in was a way that they could survive as Manchester United owners, and I think that's where we're at right now. And we have to start looking at what this club can do with the situation that we're in. Yes, there's going to be protests, there's going to be uproar within the fan base. It's going to be a tough old time for Manchester United fans going forward, unfortunately. Them figures that we reported and talked about yesterday were quite damning on Manchester United's future and what is going to happen. I want to look into everything that's going on with that and then what will happen in the summer. I think, like we said yesterday when I was talking live before we did the watch-alongs and everything last night on Football Talks. Thanks for joining us, by the way, if you did, on Football Talks, our other channel. QR code right there in the bottom-hand corner. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. But before that, we did a show on FUTV and we was talking about everything that was happening at the football club, where the Glazers are at, the money, the finances, and how Manchester United's future doesn't look great. Like, how do we get past this? What happens? I think Manchester United, and I've said this before, Manchester United need to actually accept where they are. I think they need to accept that they are a team, they are a mid-table team. We need to start thinking like the Brightons and the Brentfords of this world. That's what United need to do. And that sounds horrible to say, but that's the reality of the situation, because I think Manchester United in the summer need to sell everybody. They need to sell as many players as possible just to try and balance the books a little bit and get back on a level playing field when it comes to the finances side of things. Because PSR is not going to go away. It's going to be with us another year. If Manchester United do not invest in the squad that we've got right now and get most of them players out, it's going to be another season like we've had this season, and that ultimately would be catastrophic. So even if we are looking at the Glazers and the Ineos ownership like we want it to go bad, we need things to get worse for them to get out of this football club. I think that's the necessary. We're going to have to be punished if we want them out of this football club. It needs to get a lot worse. They're not going to allow it to. They're going to do the bare minimum to keep Manchester United's head above water. And I think we have to accept that in terms of we will invest in the summer. There will be a plan. There will be a new plan, like we've spoken about, because PSR has changed. The team will be better than what it is now. It definitely will. It won't be household names, I don't think. I think Manchester United are going into this summer, and I think Manchester United are going in with their eyes wide open, and I don't think there is any player safe in this squad. The words that were said in the summer and going into January that was reported by all of the media around Manchester United, like there's not one player safe at this football club. I think the situation and the finances right now, with what is in place, what's happening, like we discussed yesterday, with the setup at Ineos and how all of their companies are going into the red, how they're pulling out of all of their other sporting ventures, not investing as much money. Could that money be going into Manchester United? I don't know. We can't invest money anyway because of PSR. Otherwise, we're going to get a deduction in points. Without Sir Jim Ratcliffe's investment, Manchester United would have been heading into the next season with Ruben Amorim, with all the promises of new players, with a point deduction as well, because we would have fell under PSR. That is where we're at. That's how desperate it is, and that's what we covered yesterday. So what do we do in the summer? The Glazers are not going anywhere. Ineos are not going anywhere. They've got themselves into a position right now where they know the future of this football club is going to make them an absolute fortune with the stadium. They have to battle it out and find a way of making Manchester United competitive just enough to see into the years of the new stadium and the redevelopment of Trafford Wharf and the Salford Quays area. That's where Manchester United are going to be prospering and I think profitable in the future. That's where the ownership models know the money is. And the future of Manchester United, way down the line, as long as we stay relevant and stay competitive, which is the big problem now, if we do, and somehow we spend enough and just survive, and we invest into the youth of this football team, and we bring in younger players and accept where we are, like I said, we have to build from being a mid-table team, not build as a championship challenging side like we have done every single summer. It just isn't doable for United anymore. Then they will just keep their heads above water enough to start really reaping the benefits later down the line financially. And that's the issue that we have got as a fan base right now. They are happy to sit there and wait it out and just get by. They know that United and what we've got right now, with the ticket price hikes that are coming, with the squad being sliced in half and investing in younger players on less wages. I went through a whole report from The Athletic and the New York Times on Ineos's not football, but sporting structure and what they have got. Everything that's happening at them other sporting ventures is happening right now to Manchester United. The job cuts, the lack of investment, the cutting of big name players, no big contracts, no big signings. They're investing in younger players, the unknown sporting stars within them sporting industries as well. It's exactly how it's going to go for Manchester United. And the Glazers have just sat back and said, go do that, and then we'll still be here, and we'll come back into the fold and be more of a face of everything that's going on when the money starts coming back in. And that's why the journalist was asking questions about Ineos making it worse, because let's be honest, even with the Glazers on their own, it wasn't this bad football-wise. Manchester United have never finished in the bottom half of the table. This season, United will finish in the bottom half of the Premier League table. So the obvious questions are going to be asked, like, since Ineos came in, have they made it worse at Manchester United? Well, effectively, when you look at the league table, and as we say, the table never lies, Ineos have made it worse at Manchester United. They have. Because the football's dire, there's issues behind the scenes, the culture of the club is struggling. We are seeing improvements in standing up to the old school culture. For Manchester United to stop being average, we've had to go diabolically poor and then start building from there. It's the only way. And I get that. I do get that we do have to take a fall before we come back up. But it's only now, because the finances are that tight and United are stuck, is it happening. We have been forced into this by the way that the Glazers have run the football club, and now they cannot get their own way. They've brought someone else in to take the flak for it. And the Ineos setup does look like it is covering up what the Glazers have done before right now. And I just feel like it is all on Ineos and their structure to make Manchester United survive. But the Glazers really were in no position to do what Ineos are doing right now. They didn't have the know-how, they didn't have the contacts, they didn't have the experience of running a football club properly. We could say Ineos didn't, but at least they have got people in place that have done this before, in the likes of Omar Barada, Wilcox, Christopher Vival, who could say Dan Ashworth, but that obviously is an issue for Manchester United. Again, another mistake. But these appointments never would have happened with Glazers there on their own. The Glazers have taken United as far as they could, and they needed someone else in with different eyes to come in while still having power. It's incredibly clever business from the Glazers and what they have done. And it's so annoying because it is going to be Manchester United that suffer for it. They are going to be here still, I reckon, in 10 years' time when Manchester United's new stadium is built, and they will be cashing in on everything that is Manchester United, and they will be making a lot more money again, because Ineos are not going to overspend. Ineos are going to run this like a tight ship like we know, and that's why the summer is going to be an interesting one in terms of what comes in. And that's why I said we need to act like a Brighton. We need to act like a Brentford, Brighton, Fulham type side right now, because that's where United are as a football team. Not as a club, but look at the debt. Look at the debts. Look at the finances. There's no way United can continue. It's there in front of us in black and white and in football. We cannot unsee what we are watching right now on the pitch. We cannot ignore the figures that are there in the financials and the way that the club is being run. United are a mid-table side, and we will be buying and recruiting and operating as a mid-table football club going into the summer. That's what Ineos are doing. The bad side of that is Ineos are still going to charge, alongside the Glazers, the United fans for a top-notch or top elite club in terms of pricing and what we're watching. And that's where there is the coming together. That's where the issue is right now. They're not going to move. They're not going to budge. Whatever we do, they're not going to be bothered about. So Jim will meet with the FAB board. They will meet with the fans advisory board. They will do all of that the Glazers didn't do, and they will see, well, that's us just doing unnecessary. That's just doing the bare minimum, what we have to do. They won't do any more. I think they have come in and bitten off too much, bitten off more than they can chew. I don't think they realised it was going to be this bad, and I think they've had to recalculate and go over everything all over again. And I think that's what's made this 20 times worse. They didn't expect United to be where they are in the league right now, or the team be this poor. That is a definite, and we know that because the plan is already out of the window. And with Ineos being in at Manchester United, you can clearly see that things have got worse on the pitch, like I said, and the Glazers have got nothing to do with it. They have in the longer term thing, because they brought the Ineos model in, but they have just sat back and just gone, well, we've done this, we put a football structure in, we spent another 200 million in the summer on players, and it's still going wrong. So really, Ineos have come in and they've tripped themselves up big time on this. They really have. But the bigger picture is that the Glazers are not going anywhere. We have to lump it. We have to fight it. We have to keep on going forward in what we're doing. But I just expect things to change dramatically going into the summer. I'm going to get your initial thoughts on that before we move forward. But I'm going to get into then what is going to happen in the summer with Manchester United as well. Because I think it's going to be a bit of a shock for a lot of the Manchester United fan base as to what is going to happen going forward at this football club. I think we are going to have to accept some serious changes, and there's going to be a lot of people that are not happy about it. Super Chat's in first of all. Black Sheep 19, getting games called off is the only way to get rid. That'll never happen. The policing and the security and the health and safety aspects of things going on at Old Trafford, the amount of people that are there, it will never happen. I'm just going to tell you that right now. There's no way that United fans will be able to get a game called off. They won't. There's too many people there. There's women and children there. It's unsafe, and it will be an absolute disaster for the amount of people. Don't forget, United managed to get a game called off because there was no fans in the stadium, and a few hundred people broke into Old Trafford. That's all good and well when minimal minimal security because they're not expecting many people to be there. Don't forget, the security and policing around Manchester United games is to cater for 70,000 plus people. There is no chance that they will be able to stop any games. There is nobody going to be able to stop games happening at Old Trafford. It's as simple as that. It will never happen, and it won't ever be like it was when we was dealing with the Super League. It is. I know it's like that was the only thing that really did have an effect at the time, but that was different circumstances. Now, no, this is just one club. This isn't a full Premier League up in smoke. This is something completely different, and it's not going to change anything. Don't worry, Adam. We are catching up with Liverpool, but the Glazers are bad for destroying United. Fans deserve better. Unfortunately, Zay, mate, you are. Like, it is. We do deserve more. It is absolutely crippling what is going on at Manchester United right now. And the fan base, I think, are the ones that are really suffering for it. And we always will. It will always be the fans. It will always be the fans that end up on the wrong end of big corporate decisions at big football clubs. And we've seen it before. Unfortunately, like we've also said, there isn't much that United can do. There isn't much United fans can do. Let's get into a few more of your comments on this one. Boxing says, nobody should ever be allowed to buy a club using its own profit. That's not sustainable, so Premier League have blame in this. We should sue the Premier League. I think that's actually been looked into before, and the rules have changed because of the Glazers. It's sad that it's actually coming right now, and this is never going to happen again, but it's too late for Manchester United. This club is so far from its roots and getting farther away from its history. I think there's never a true word said in that one. And that's the concerning one. When you say it like that, when you say like it's just the life is being sucked out of the football club, like Teddy Sheringham said the other day, that's where it hurts more, when you look at it like that. Adam trying to convince us to accept this crap. We need to force them out, empty Old Trafford and hit the sponsors. I'm not telling you to accept it. I'm telling you to fight it. What I'm telling you, it won't work. And that's all I'm doing. You only have to look at history. You only have to look at what's happened before. The Glazers have had this before in America. They've had this with Tampa Bay. They've had this, and season tickets being burnt outside the stadium. They don't care. They don't care. Power is everything. They will always prevail. The fans can do what they want. Ultimately, we will empty stadiums, but like we've been told, we've been telling you, and I've been telling you forever and a day. So, Fergie, to answer your question, it's like, if I don't go to a game, if a United fan doesn't go to a game, there is someone willing to come in. Just ask people in the chat who have given their season tickets back and given tickets back. Someone will go and pay 61 quid, 66 quid for a ticket and go and watch Manchester United. They don't want us there. That's the problem. Sponsors are not bothered about who sits in seats because the seats will always be filled. It's as simple as that. People don't get that side of things. So, unfortunately, no, that won't work either. I mean, you could maybe lock the dressing room, storm the tunnel or something like that, and maybe get yourselves arrested and never be at Manchester United ever again. But who is going to do that? Like I said, security is too tight. You're not going to do that. It's going to get to a point where Manchester United, I feel, the football will be that bad. And we've seen this already to a certain degree this season. The football will be that bad that fans won't go. But the club will just sell them tickets. The club will. You've seen, right now, what's happened to my ticket. I explained what happened to my ticket and what has been happening. The card that I pay for my cup tickets with as a season ticket holder at Manchester United keeps being declined by the club. And then they're hoping that I don't see the email which says that the payment for your cup tickets hasn't gone through. I have been doing, because it's been happening to a few United fans. And then they will sell them tickets for more money to somebody else. And then when I try and go to the game or find out later, near closer to the game, that my tickets have been sold, they will make me buy another ticket, which is another ticket sold, and my seat's gone already for more money, so more money again. If I don't buy that ticket, they will cancel one of my Premier League games, which I've already paid for, and sell that to somebody else as well. They know what they're doing. They have their claws into everything. And anybody who thinks that season ticket holders or fans that are match-going fans can just do this and stop things happening, it's not. It's not the case. It's not going to do anything. This is what they want. They want us to stop going. And that's what people don't understand. I think you mean a bottom half team. Yeah, bottom half team. Definitely. Zane with another super chat. Gary Neville, the Champagne Socialist is in bed with the Glazers and Ineos. Gary Neville just believes in his own hype, I think, half of the time. There's a lot of what Gary Neville says is right, but then again, he thinks he is connected to Manchester United. He thinks he is the voice of the fan base, and I think he gets carried away with it a little bit sometimes. He is a businessman himself, so this is why all of this always comes out with Gary Neville, I think. Cheers for the super chat, Zane, as well, buddy. 150 likes in on the video. Keep them likes coming in, everybody. Adam, we need solicitors looking at that. There's no way, right? They know that nobody's going to go down them roads. They know that they've got the fans where they want us. That's the thing. The love for this club is what they're taking advantage of within this fan base. That's the problem that we've got. And now we have somebody in doing the dirty work for the Glazers in terms of the ticketing setup and everything that's going on. Because this has never happened before. This has never happened before in terms of the tickets and what's going on. Ineos have come in with this new model. And I remember the video that lad put out, the season ticket holder, about being threatened for the Leicester game if he didn't buy another ticket after his tickets had been sold because they reverted it back to the club. They cancelled the payments. It keeps on happening to me as well, but I've been on top of it. It's a... I won't say it's a scam. I mean, I may be overstepping the mark here a little bit on this, but it is actually happening right now. Let's get some more comments on this. Is that not fraud? Can you all sue a mass action lawsuit against the club? Sue for the conditions as well. The conditions is another thing right now. That is the most uncomfortable stadium to watch a game of football in the Premier League, Old Trafford. It really is unsafe. It is. The facilities are embarrassing at Old Trafford right now. And again, this is a long-term project for the Glazers and Ineos, and they're not bothered about what Manchester United are doing. So the conditions are getting worse, the football's getting twice as bad, and they're charging us more. That's where the issue is at Manchester United. We're paying for everything that has gone wrong before. I said it on the video yesterday. The Glazers came in and took control of Manchester United, full control, and it cost the club $1 billion. They have managed to own this football club and make themselves billions by spending nothing. And the only people that are giving them that money are the fans, because we love our football club. That's it. And that's what they're doing again right now. They're spending nothing and earning billions. It's going to keep on happening. They are incredibly clever businessmen, and unfortunately, the United fan base are suffering for it. Anyway, I want to move on to news on what happens past this. How do United survive? Because I think that's what it is. It is all about survival at Manchester United right now. Well, Christopher Vival has been made a permanent appointment head of Manchester United recruitment. That news has come out as well over the last 24 hours. So in terms of, and I am going to talk about other news as well. I'm not just going to switch across and just forget about what I've said. No, but we do have to look at how Manchester United move forward, because we're all going to keep supporting this football club. We're all going to stay behind it. We know we are. Unfortunately, we have to lump what is happening with it, and that's not fair, yes. But still, Manchester United will move forward. And how we move forward is by doing what we're doing right now. Christopher Vival, one of the positives of the summer, coming in on his recruitment side of things and what's happening at Manchester United at youth level and recruitment coming into Manchester United. He is now head of that and has now been made permanent by the football club, which is a good move for Manchester United. He is a good operator in what he does, well renowned, and I think the way that Manchester United have operated in the summer, again, I go back to it. I don't think it was a bad summer in terms of the business we did and what we paid for the players we brought in. I thought we did some good deals, Manchester United. And in the future, we will see that them players that we bought this summer, under Ineos' first summer will actually not cost the club like the players that we're looking at right now, like the Antonys, the Casemiros, the Ericssons, all of these type of players on mega money, Luke Shaw, Andre Onana, Rasmus Højlund, Mason Mount. All of these signings are costing United a fortune. I guarantee you the signings that Manchester United made in the summer and the ones that we brought in for that 200 million for Ten Hag, them players are not going to be a problem for Manchester United in the future going forward. Contracts that are set in place at decent wages. We didn't pay a lot of money for them. We're not going to lose out on these players because we didn't overspend. If Manchester United went for Manuel Ugarte, we'd have ended up spending about 80 odd million on him if it weren't for the structure that was in place at United in the summer. We wouldn't have got De Ligt and Mazraoui for the price that we did either. We wouldn't. We know we wouldn't. You can argue the point that we spent way too much money on Lenny Yoro. He's unproven. He's showing good signs. He's showing poor game. He's stuck in the middle of this melee. But 52 million for him at 18. Let's see. Next 2 or 3 years, he could turn into that brilliant defender that everybody was trying to get at their football club in the summer. So that could look to be good business as well. It shoulda, woulda, coulda, I know, on that side of things. But I don't think Manchester United have done bad business. And Christopher Vivell coming into Manchester United and now a permanent fixture at the club, I don't think we necessarily need a director of football right now. I think with what we've got there, I would keep Christopher Vivell, keep Wilcox, Omar Barada and what they're doing. I don't think Manchester United have done a bad deal with Patrick Dorgu either. I like the younger players that are being brought in, like Diego Leon, Sekou Kone. Obviously, we've got Aiden Heaven as well, Chido. All of these types of signings. This is all Christopher Vivell area and what's happening. And I think that's what I wanted to bring in, because I think that's where United will be going in the summer. I'm going to say this now. I've got a super chat in from You Got Raws first of all. The Glazers have never had the knowledge in terms of putting the correct football people in charge of the football decisions. Ineos putting these people in charge will make the Glazer profits go up in the long run. And the Glazers know that. And that's why they've done it. They've employed people to run United properly, to get everything running so they can earn more money. That's what's happening. Just to go over everything again, if there is anyone just joining us, we're well over 1,000 in the room. Please keep liking the video. Make sure you have subscribed to Forever United TV as well, everybody. Just laying it out there right now. Last night, Sky reporter tried to collar Avram Glazer as he was heading in to see the president, in his words. Asked the questions, do you think Ineos have made Manchester United worse for you? Are you going to sell the football club? No answer on the Ineos side of things, but in terms of selling the football club, a resounding no. Definitely not going to see the Glazers relinquish any power at Manchester United anytime soon. So, on that side of things, we've looked into what is happening at Manchester United now, the finances, the figures. What are the Glazers' plans? They are to bring Ineos in and get them to run Manchester United the way we just described, to earn them more money in the future, to take them close enough to the redevelopment of Old Trafford and the surrounding area, which will earn Manchester United a small fortune because of the land that United own. Land is gold. United own all of it around Old Trafford near enough, and that is going to be bought up. The government have already said that this scheme is going to go ahead, and now the next phase is investors to bring in money to build the stadium, and then Manchester United will start seeing mega profits coming again. The Glazers are going nowhere because of what is coming at Old Trafford. Now it's up to Ineos to help Manchester United survive to that point. There's not a chance in hell that United will win the Premier League in 2028. I think they've made a huge mistake in coming out with that statement. A massive mistake. It's not going to happen. Definitely not. And I think every United fan, the hand on heart, I think is in the same boat with that one. They're not. We know that we're not going to win the league in 2028. We're nowhere near it. We are a bottom half of the table team, mid-table team, and we need to start acting like that. In the summer, I think United will sell Garnacho. I think they will sell. I think they need to. There's no other way of Manchester United making money right now. Yeah, they can bump the season ticket prices up. They can cut the wages. They can cut all of the jobs. But the only way Manchester United can improve on the pitch and be profitable and sustainable is by selling their other assets. And at the moment, Garnacho is seen as one of them players. I reckon he is definitely on his bike in the summer, alongside Marcus Rashford. We've obviously talked about the Mason Greenwood situation as well. If he goes, that's more 100% profit for Manchester United. That's if Marseille sell him to Barcelona or PSG. Them rumours are there. United will be looking to cash in on nearly everything in the summer. And I don't think everybody's prepared for what is coming this summer for Manchester United. It is going to be a monumental summer for United. It's going to be crazy. And I think there is going to be a mass exodus of Manchester United players. Wholesome names as well. Like, I think we're going to see the back end of quite a few. I really do. And I think this is the work that's been going on. I think January was the tester. I think January was the test for all Manchester United players to see where everything was. And I do believe that January has just set the tone for the rest of this season. I think these players, like I said yesterday, already know their futures at this football club and they know their time is up. And I think that's how they're playing right now. The effort isn't there. There's no conviction. There's no belief in what the project is under Ruben Amorim. Why would you feel like that? Why would you feel like that? Well, you know, and you would feel like that if you knew that your future wasn't at Manchester United come the end of this season. That's what I think is happening right now at the football club. That's, honestly, my opinion on that is that United will be selling some of these players. I said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't believe the likes of Kobbie Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho and other players at this club, Rasmus Højlund as well, I don't think they're safe. I don't think they're safe. I think it will be a massive mass exodus at United come the summer in the transfer window, and then we will start seeing what United bring in. There is a report there, as you can see at the bottom of your screen. More talk about cos Matheus Cunha is a United fan. United are confident that they can bring him into the football club. 62 million on Matheus Cunha. Honestly, I would probably look at bringing in 2 players for that price right now. I don't think necessarily that he is the answer to what United need. I think he's better than what we've got, 100%. Is there other players out there that United could get with us on this shoestring budget, or so-called shoestring budget? I think there is. I do. I think there are other players that United could go for. I don't think United will get Cunha. I don't. I'm not confident at all in us bringing in that elite striker. Obviously, we've still got the Osimhen talk as well. Fabrizio Romano came out last night and pretty much poured cold water all over every single Osimhen report that's been going around. Even the Tier 1 journalist that was talking about Manchester United agreeing a deal with Napoli in January, but he didn't want to go because he was committed to his loan deal at Galatasaray. We had Tier 1 journalists saying that, but then Romano came out yesterday and said that that wasn't the case. That there'd been no formal offer to Napoli for Victor Osimhen. So again, we're back to like what is real and what's not. I do believe it is the lesser signings that are coming in this summer. And lesser, I don't mean the quality of the player is worse. I'm talking the Tyler Diblins, the Chris Riggs, the Liam Delaps. That's the type of signings. The Jonathan David type signings. That's what United, I think, are going to be going for in the summer. They can't afford anybody else. And United really are in a position where we have to start looking, like I said at the top of the show, as the club we are and as the team we are. We are a bottom half of the table football club. We will not be finishing above mid-table this season. We are cemented in to this position where we are now. We are going to finish 14th or 15th. That's us. We'll survive relegation because the teams at the bottom are that bad. Look, if we lose to Everton, Ipswich and Arsenal the next 3 games, I may be coming back on a video here and saying I think we have to be concerned about relegation. I'm just trying to, every time I say something, though, I'm trying to put a positive on everything that I possibly can. Like, not, excuse me, not getting relegated right now is the only positive that I've got. That's the only thing I can say is actually positive right now, and that's crazy. I'm not confident about the Europa League. That will be a massive bonus for Manchester United if that happens. And we'll see. We'll see. Look, this team have done things before that I didn't expect them to do in terms of winning trophies. Didn't expect us to win the FA Cup. We did. Can we go out and surprise everybody and win the Europa League? It will be the biggest get-out-of-jail card ever played by a football club. And you know what? It's nice for us. It'll be great for us. But all you can think about right now as a United fan, anything that is positive that comes out of United from this point to the end of the season is only going to profit the Glazers and Ineos and their structure going forward. That's it. And that's where you get stuck in the middle of the conversation. It's like you want your team to do well, but the only way that the Glazers are going to be gone is if United do worse. But we can never bring ourselves to say that we want this football team to do worse, can we? It's just not in our blood. There'll be some people who are saying it, but I guarantee you, hand on heart, you don't want to see Manchester United get relegated. We've said it. Look, I've said it. Look, if United got relegated, if someone told me that United got relegated and that was the end of the Glazers, I would probably say that is for the better of Manchester United's future. I would say that is the only way forward. And it's good to not have the Glazers in, but we know it's not going to happen. We know that Manchester United are always going to be competitive just enough to stay in the Premier League. I say this now, like the way the season's going, the way these players are performing and the injuries that we've now got, United could lose every single game from now until the end of the season quite easily of the way we're playing. You know what law of averages is we're going to get a couple of wins and just stay up. But honestly, I don't feel confident about Everton, don't feel confident about Ipswich, 100% don't feel confident about Arsenal. And in the middle of that, we've got our FA Cup game at home to Fulham as well. I don't feel confident about any of the next 4 games. In fact, I don't feel confident about any of the games left this season. No Manchester United fan does. All you're thinking is someone is going to step up and get us a win and pull something out the bag out of nothing. That's literally how Manchester United play right now. And that was the report coming out from the Daily Mail as well about the players. And that's how they supposedly feel as well. It's not down to Ruben Amorim, it's just down to some individual brilliance on the pitch. This is how it's been for the last 3 years under the management. These players just thinking that they can play wherever they want and then someone in the team will do something miraculous and United will win. The only time United have ever looked like they've got any form of system in play is when we've been defensive in big games and it looks like there's a plan. Like the Arsenal, like the Liverpool, the Manchester City, it looked like we had a plan in them games and it looked like United knew exactly what they were doing. But as soon as you come up against a team that has got a similar plan and is happy to play out a draw and be solid, United come unstuck every single time. If this lot got relegated, we would struggle to return at the first attempt. United would need to sell every single one of them players in the squad if United got relegated. They would. And there's no guarantee that this Man United team would actually come straight back up. If you kept the same team in place, obviously they would be favourites to come straight back up, wouldn't they? But again, I don't know if these players are up for a fight in the Championship. It's crazy even talking about it right now, it is, but that's where it's taken us to right now. That the reality hurts, and unless you are willing to accept it and go forward with it, you're going to be living a life of pain watching Manchester United. That's how it feels. It doesn't feel like there's an end to it. That's ultimately rounding everything up there. That's how it does feel. It feels like there is no end to what is going on right now at the football club. It doesn't feel like the Glazers are going to go. It doesn't feel like Ineos are going to change how they are. They are going to up the prices. The football's not going to get better. It just looks like we're just trying to survive until them days come again. And I think there is a massive element of hope in this, that some of the younger generation player coming through at United are going to be the ones that take us forward and are going to be the ones that actually start playing well enough to move United forward again. I just don't see it happening. And unless we sell every single one of these first team players, I think it's just going to be similar again next season. We should get the right players in for Ruben Amorim and give him a chance. That's the only thing I care about right now, in giving Ruben Amorim a chance with this team in the summer. And if it means that we do have to sell 75% of this first team squad, we have to do it. We're not going to be able to sell all of that. It's going to take a few years to get everybody out. I know that, but there has to be significant moves this summer. Otherwise, I don't see Ruben Amorim seeing out next season. That's another statement as well. I don't. If it carries on like this and they don't invest in the summer and they don't get rid of the players that's necessary, then I don't see how Ruben Amorim survives. He can't survive because the football cannot carry on this way. Fans need to make a choice. A quick bang in the back seat of the car, or slowly build a loving, happy, fruitful relationship. That's a bit brutal down there, mate. Simon says, how many players have relegation release clauses in their contracts? The answer to that is none of them, mate. Not a one. So it would be a disaster for Manchester United. So they would have to try and actively cut their losses and sell everybody on the cheap just to get rid of them contracts to survive. There is no relegation clauses in any players' contracts. I will not turn on Amorim. Simple as that. He's on Ineos and the Glazers. Goals for George. Karma is a bitch. Those fans who wanted Erik ten Hag out, nothing to do with it again, though. I don't know why. Are now more miserable under Amorim. No, we're not actually. As the projected improvement has imploded, Amorim has no choice but to use academy and improve players. Erik ten Hag had over $500 million spent on him and he wasted it. And Ruben Amorim's repairing that. That was the reality what we said. So yeah, see you later, Eric. Thank God he's gone. And I wonder why he hasn't got another job yet. Let that one sink in. Crap, that's why. Mr. Dacia Sendero, 52 million for Euro was a big gamble. I hope that's I hope that is the last of the gambles on players, particularly young ones. It's too much pressure on these players. How on earth was he even valued at that price? We had to buy him in because we wanted to take him ahead of Real Madrid. Again, you can definitely argue the price was too much, and United did cook the price on Lenny Euro. Definitely, there is a conversation to be had there on that one, but it could still come good. It could still come good. 616 million. Let that let that set in. That's what Ten Hag spent. Straight up, this on Glazers haven't paid a bean on their own money on United. Yet Tampa Bay looking sweet, and their fans believe the Glazers paid for it. As Old Trafford rots away like a once prestigious club. Yep. Real Madrid only bid 17 million on Euro. Yeah, they bid because they knew his contract was ending. United, if they wanted Euro, had to go in and buy him for a bit more money, more of a realistic value to what Lille wanted. And Real Madrid knew that after this season his contract would have been up and they'd have taken him for nothing. That's why they only bid 17 million. They didn't need to go all out for him. That was the position Real Madrid were in. United, again, desperate. Big Bad Phil says, Ineos in billions of debt and suddenly United gets signed over to the company. Loading personal debts on to United. Loads like the Glazers. Tragic. Yeah, so Jim Radcliffe in that last bit of investment has transferred all of the ownership from him to Ineos. So it is Ineos shares in Manchester United now. That is it. And I don't know what the bigger picture is or how they're looking at it right now, but no matter which way you look at it as a fan, it looks quite bleak for all Manchester United fans. All we can hope for is, like I said, the football to get better at some point, the right recruitment in the summer, and we'll see what running Manchester United is like on a shoestring budget and not going buying out big players anymore. Let's see. It's all about trusting in a coach. I think that's what we've got to hold on to, and that's it right now. Look, that is it for this morning's show, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Please give the video a like on the way out. That should take us over 300 live likes. Again, cheers for all of your comments coming in the live chat. You've been on it today. It is a brutal subject, I know, but we do have to talk about it. No to selling Manchester United. That was the word from Avram Glazer when asked by Sky News yesterday. Unfortunately, it does look like we are going to have to grin and bear many more years down the line with the Glazer and Ineos ownership. Let's see what happens this summer. All eyes on Ineos again. We move closer to game day. Can we fully concentrate on football right now? That's the hard bit. It feels like football has come completely irrelevant because of everything else going on at Manchester United. But Everton is coming up. We'll obviously be hearing from Ruben Amorim again tomorrow on the updates. It looks like Kobbie Mainoo's injury is going to be after the international break for his return as well. That was another update as well that was coming up. I forgot to mention it, but just got it in there at the end. That is it for now, everybody. Thank you so much. I will see you all later on this evening for the evening show. I'll be back later this afternoon if anything does break. But until then, have a